Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bros Talking Sports. This is NFL Week 3 recap. Let's get into it. All right. 10 a.m. today, we had a lot of games kick off. We're going to start with the first one, Chicago Bears at the Indiana Colts. This was a good one. If you guys don't remember, I picked the Colts to win this one because I wasn't too sure about Caleb. And the Colts came through. They won 21-16. Caleb Williams, he threw the ball 52 times. He completed 33 passes, 363 yards. Shout you out. I got to give you respect because he was slinging it. All right. You better have 300 plus yards if you throw it 50 times. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, though. Those were crucial. Total yards for Chicago, they had 395 yards. Rome Dunes went off for 112 yards and a touchdown. Shout out, Rome. The running game was not there because Caleb was throwing the ball. And yeah, the Colts, Anthony Richardson had 167 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but they got the win. The They didn't really have no wide receivers do anything today, but that's okay because they got this dog named Jonathan Taylor. All right, and he's a beast. 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he went off. So they got the win. They were favored by 1.5. Next game up for this morning, we had um, the Denver Broncos on the road to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was epic because, as you know, Tampa Bay beat my Lions last week. And Denver, I picked them to win, and they smacked them pretty much from the beginning, 26-7. The Bucks really had no answer. Baker Mayfield, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Godwin, 50. Godwin and Auden only had 50 yards apiece. Bucky Irvin shot you out. Oregon, he had 70 yards, but that's about it. Denver Bo Nix, shout out Oregon as well. 263 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Cortland Sutton had 68 yards, and then Battle had 70 yards. This was epic because the kicker, Will Lutz, he kicked 4 field goals, and that's why they got the victory. It was smacking. Shout out Denver. All right, next up, you guys, we have the Green Bay Packers on the road at the Tennessee Titans. The Green Bay Packers pulled it out. Their second quarterback their second quarterback got his second win in Green Bay for their second win. Man, that was a mouthful. But Malik Willis, he was 13 of 19, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. Plus, he was running it 73 yards. And yeah, two wins in a row for the newcomer Malik Willis. Shout you out. Jordan Love, you got some competition now in Green Bay. That's epic. Real quick, Watson, he had 67 yards. Wilson had a touchdown. And on the flip side, Tennessee Titans, Will Levis, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. DeAndre Hopkins had 73 yards with the touchdown to go with it, but they had no rush game. And they got smacked 30-14. I don't know if I said that score at first. But Green Bay, they came, they saw, they conquered, and now they're 2-1. All right, next up, you guys, we have the Houston Texans on the road at those Minnesota Vikings. This was huge because Stephon Diggs, he's going back to Minnesota. Yep, I know. He left the Bills too, but he's going back to Minnesota, and I just did not want him to do that well. But and they were favored by 2. CJ Stroud came, he showed out 20 of 31, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. Diggs had 94 yards and 0 touchdowns. That's all I can ask for. Nico Collins had 86 yards with no touchdowns, and they had no rush game. So that is the big reason why Houston lost at the Vikings. They got smacked 34-7. This was absolutely from the jump. It was a no. I mean, they were up 14-0 at half. Justin Jefferson was 6 of 6 for 81 yards at the half. Vikings dominated. Even though they only had 274 total yards, Sam Darnold had 181 of them, 4 touchdowns, though. 3 of those came in the first half. And he's been absolutely unbelievable for the Vikings, and he has them at 3-0 right now. Real quick, Jay Jetty, he finished with those 81 yards and a touchdown. Aaron Jones had 102 yards plus 46 on the ground, and I mean in the air, and a touchdown. So shout you out. Vikings 3-0. Ooh, I don't like that. All right, next up, we got the Chargers at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was favored by 2.5, and they got the job done. They won 20-10, partially because Justin Herbert went out with a high ankle sprain. He did not come back in. He was 12 of 18, 125 yards, and a touchdown before he left. McConkey and Johnson had 44 yards apiece, and Dobbins had 44 yards. Pretty much nothing the Chargers could do today, even though they're 2-1 now. They could not get it done. Justin Fields over on the flip side, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a rush TD. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He put up 20 points to 3-0 as well, and they're looking good. Yeah. All right, next game, we have the New York Giants at the Cleveland Browns. I can't remember who I picked in this one. I believe I picked the Browns in this one because of Watson. Watson had 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. They were favored by 6.5, and they lost by 6. So the Giants, Daniel Jones had 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Neighbors had 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Singletary had 65 yards, 1 touchdown. And the Giants got it done. Amari Cooper only had 86 yards, but he did get 2 touchdowns. All right. Man, all right, this game was big. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger than what it was, but it was a defensive game. And the Philadelphia Eagles went on the road to who dat? All right, they went to play the Saints, and this one went to overtime. 15-12, the Eagles pulled it out. This was epic because I thought the Saints were playing really well. I thought they were going to go 3-0, and they didn't. Eagles showed them why. Jalen Hurts, 29 of 38, 311 yards, but he didn't get no touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, though, went off. All right, you talk about a run game. Saquon Barkley, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. So shout you out, Saquon. It was ugly, but the Eagles, they are built for November and December, in my opinion, because but they need to get in the end zone. No, they're built for this weather, but they need to put the ball in the end zone. And 15-12 in overtime is not cut of it. Derek Carr, 14 of 25, 142 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 crucial interception. Alvin Kamara, 127 total yards, no touchdowns though. All right, so that was the difference in that. That was wrapped up the morning games. Let's kick it over real quick to the afternoon games for you guys. All right, we have the Carolina Panthers going on the road to face the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders were favored by 5.5, and this was epic because the Carolina Panthers pulled it out with quarterback Bryce Young out. They put Andy Dalton in, and he went off 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those 3 touchdowns came before halftime. That's how you could tell where the game was going. Antonio Pierce, you need to step it up. Minshew had 8. He was 18 of 28, 214 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. The running game was an absolute no-show. They was trying, though. Wide receiver Tucker, 96 yards, 1 touchdown, and Adams only had 40 yards. All right, come on now. The veteran leadership of the Carolina Panthers, a.k.a. Andy Dalton, got it done. So that is epic for sure. Hubbard, real quick, shot you out 114 yards plus 55 yards and a touchdown in the air. Johnson had 122 yards as well in passing game with the touchdown. So, man, Dalton was going. They had the run game. They had everything clicking. The Raiders just could not get nothing going. Carolina Panthers get the win. All right, next up, we have the Miami Dolphins on the road to Seattle. That is right, 12 stand up. Seattle pulled it out 24-3. I shouldn't have said pulled it out because they smacked them. 24-3. They were in control they were in control the entire game. Uh, but Miami Dolphins, obviously, two is out, so I knew we would probably get this win, but I didn't expect their second quarterback to go out, Skylar Thompson, with a concussion in the third quarter. So then Boyle came in. He got 79 yards with no touchdowns, and that just goes to show how Miami season is going. I have Tyreek Hill on my fantasy league, and he only got 40 yards. So man, he no showed as well, along with the run game, no show. But shout out Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, Mike McDonald, and Mike McDonald, shout you out. You're 3-0. Geno Smith, 26 of 34, 289 yards today, one touchdown, but you did have two crucial interceptions. Man, we're playing like that, and we're still getting these wins. We're 3-0. That's exciting for us, for sure. Charbonnet, 91 yards, two touchdowns. DK Metcalf, 104 yards, and a tutty as well. Tyler Lockett put up 46 yards, and Miami was a no-show. All right. Ooh, this one was big. This was big. All right, we're going to get to it. The Ravens went on the road to Jerry's World to face the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys did not show up. They put a little fight at the end to come back and make it very interesting, but the Ravens were in control pretty much the entire game. They beat the Cowboys 28-25. The Ravens was favored by 1.5, so they covered the spread. Total offensive yards for the Ravens was 456. Total offensive yards for the Cowboys was 412. All right, Dak, as I said, he slung that thing 51 times. Compared to, on the other side, Lamar Jackson only threw it 15 times. Look at the difference in that. All right, Dak was 28 of 51, which it's okay. And then Lamar was 12 of 15. So dropped three passes in there. That's crazy. Let's start with Dak. Dak Prescott, 379 yards. Again, you better have 350 plus yards if you're throwing the ball 50 times. 3 total touchdowns, though. He had 2 in the air and 1 rushing. He also had 87 rushing yards as well. No, my apologies. That I'm looking over at the wrong side now. Lamar Jackson had 87 rushing yards, along with 182 passing yards and 1 touchdown, which is absolute epic. 12 of 15. Can't beat that. Because they got the king, Devin Henry, over there. He went for 151 yards. And Lamar Jackson had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Did I write that right? Devin Henry. I got to check that. For sure. I got to check that. But Nelson Aguilar and Flowers were no shows today. Dallas, it didn't matter because Dallas was a no-show either. The run game, Elliott did not show up. CeeDee Lamb only had 67 yards, and Ferguson had 95 yards. But they couldn't get it done. They tried to get it done late. Okay. San Francisco 49ers went on the road to the Rams. The 49ers did not get it done. Brock Purdy was 22 of 30 for 292 yards with 3 touchdowns, but they lost 27-24. They were up 10 in the fourth quarter. Everybody thought it was over, but the Rams pulled it out. You know why? Because they got that bad man, Matthew Stafford. He was 16 of 25, 221 yards, and 1 tutty. All right. Kyron Williams had 89 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 27 in the air and another tutty. So he was balling out. Atwell had 93 yards. And the rest is history. The Rams got it done over San Francisco, who were in the Super Bowl last year. Off that talk. All right. Detroit Lions were on the road at those Arizona Cardinals. This was scary for a second. Goff threw an interception. I didn't like it, but Detroit Lions pulled it out 20-13. Jared Goff was 18 of 23. As I said, he needed to throw the ball better. 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and as I said, the 1 interception. David Montgomery had a big game, 105 yards and 1 touchdown. He showed up big time. Jameer Gibbs had 83 yards to go with it. St. Brown came up with 75 yards and a tutty. Laporta had 2 targets for 36 yards. We need a little bit more from him. But all around, I like the production of the Lions today. We got the win, and it wasn't an easy one. So, real quick on the flip side, Kyler Murray had 252 total yards and 1 touchdown. The run game did not show up for Arizona, but Marvin Harrison Jr. had 64 yards and Wilson had 64 yards. That's that. Bet. Then we're gonna kick it off for you. The Sunday night game, you guys. We have the Chiefs at the Falcons. The Falcons did not get it done. It looked like they could have got it done, in all honesty, but they're a little too young, man. They got this guy named Andy Reid over there who's pulling up some schemes, and in all honesty, I don't know how they got it done. The refs, Chiefs cannot score in the end zone. They get the ball, they keep driving it, and then they can't score in the end zone. But the defense is keeping them alive. I don't know if I said the score yet. The Chiefs won 22-17. The Falcons really had a chance. They came down to the wire with the team that was in the Super Bowl last year. So the Falcons should feel really good, especially their defense. Uh, and yeah, real quick, Patrick Mahomes, he was 26 of 39, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a crucial interception. Worthy had only 13 yards. We're expecting big things from him, and still had 72 yards. And that's about it for as far as the rushing game. Receiving though as well, not really a no show from nobody except Rashid Rice. Yep, that's about it. So Kansas City, that's for you. Real quick on the flip side, Kirk Cousins. Hey, he had an Achilles injury last year, so he's working back into it. But he was 20 of 29, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 crucial interception as well. Bijan Robinson had 31 yards. Aguilar had 32 yards, and Ray McLeod had 20 yards. So they spread it around to a lot of carries for no yards, though, if you ask me. A lot of carries for no yards. And yeah, the Falcons, even though they did not get it done, all right, they did have more passing yards than the Chiefs. All right, you got to give them that. They had more return yards than the Chiefs. They had almost the same amount of first downs. Yeah, Chiefs got the win, and they needed it. Chiefs needed this win, you guys. I don't know why, but I feel like they needed this win. So that's it, you guys, for Sunday, Week 3 NFL recap. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football. We have 2 games. My Bills and my Bengals are both playing. So this is going to be epic. All right. Bros Talking Sports. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. Sorry, that was a quick little run read down. It was pretty much just what happened. I didn't really dive in deep to have my thoughts into it this week, but we'll definitely go in more depth tomorrow for sure. All right. So yeah, Bros Talking Sports. We out, y'all.